Good morning. Let's do our last animal today. As you see here, it's a fish. Here's our fish from class. Let's check out his backbone. Nice. His fin. Another fin. And another fin. Fins are an important part of fish. And his tail fin. Wow. There are his bones. Ooh, and another fin. Left him off. Wow. Super cool. So if you could pull up the file I sent about fish, characteristics of fish, and we can use that together. Let me unplug some of that annoying light there. Alright, so first we saw from our puzzle, fish have a backbone. They're in the vertebrate group. They have a skeleton made of bone. Look at the pointy nose on this guy. I really like that pointy nose. Then we were counting on our puzzle how many fins the fish have. What do the fins do? They help the fish steer. You can see they're steering here through the water, back and forth, and push. And what does the fish do? He flexes his muscles on one side, and he moves his tail back and forth. And by stretching and flexing the muscles on one side of his body and relaxing the muscles on the other, he can make this kind of motion moving through the water. Pretty cool. This I thought was a great close-up here of the fins. The fins of the fish have, kind of common names in a sense, like this tail fin here on all of these fish is called the caudal fin. So they've got their tail fin called the caudal fin. And then you've got the pelvic fin here. Saying here on all these is the pelvic fin. And then we've got the pectoral fin, this front part of the body. And, oh, I love the name of the dorsal fin. The dorsal fin's the one on the top here. One. That's my favorite one. The tail fin or caudal fin and the dorsal fin. It's like what the shark's fin would be like at the top. All right. Now, for survival, fish do a number of things. They camouflage. One, to hide from their predators that are trying to eat them, but also to catch their own food. And different ways they do that. Can you see this fish hiding in here? Yeah, right. See his eye there? But he's all camouflaged. And this guy too. He looks just like his surroundings. You can barely see his teeth and his eyes. And this guy is hiding in a log of wood. And then this other way too, that they travel together in these large groups called schools. And that helps them stay safe, because if a bigger fish is coming along to get them, he's not going to get all of them. He's just going to get one. So they're safer in numbers. I hope you're not the one. All right. Ooh, covered in scales. Look at all those fishy scales, like the reptiles. And this was interesting. I found out that the scales are often covered in a slime. And the slime helps them glide and smooth through the water better. Very cool. And, oh, yes. So, instead of lungs, like all the other animals, they have gills. And they, not like amphibians, which start off with gills and grow lungs. No, they just have gills their whole life. They have to stay in the water. And look at the inside of those gills. Look at that gill. And in there too. And what happens is the water goes in through the gills, and the gills extract the oxygen out of the water to put into the blood to move through the fish so it can stay alive. And that's what our lungs do. But here with the fish, the gills do that job. Okay, so fish are in the cold-blooded category. Which one won? Are there, of the 5 we studied, we have mammals warm-blooded, birds warm-blooded, reptiles cold-blooded, amphibians cold-blooded, and fish cold-blooded. Cold-blooded wins. So here we got a fish. I can't quite tell if he's cooling off or warming up, but he needs his environment to do those things. His body won't do it for him. Ooh, yes. So there's 2 main kinds of water that the fish live in. Some fish live in salt water, like the oceans and the sea. You can see this beautiful area here. It's called the coral reef, like from Finding Nemo. And look at all the fishies there and how the color. And then the other would be freshwater. This is a beautiful fish called a rainbow trout. And they're yummy to eat too. Look at that. And that would be a freshwater like rivers or lakes. Okay, now fish hatch from eggs that are like soft, jelly-like, squishy, marble-looking in shape, but when you touch them, they're squishy, like the amphibian eggs. And you can see here a fish hatching out that looks like an olive, but it's its eye. And I just thought this was so neat. Look at this. Some fish parents do some things for their babies. They care for them in some, fashion, in some type of way. So this rockfish is carrying the eggs in his mouth. I believe it's the daddy rockfish that does the job. Look at those eggies. They're hatching, you see? They're just coming out. That's swimming away. And if you catch at just the right moment, people try to catch this on camera. They're bursting out of his mouth. Look at all those babies. Wow. And there are other daddies that help. There was a great book I would have read to you if I could have gotten it, about a daddy seahorse, but it goes through a number of other daddy fish that help raise their babies. So here, look at this guy. His babies are all around him, riding on his back probably at times. And the seahorse is awesome. The daddy seahorse actually carries the babies in the eggs in his belly like a pregnant mommy until they're ready to hatch and go off. And here they are. Look at all those little baby seahorses. Goodbye, Daddy. Goodbye, Daddy. And they're floating out from a pouch in his belly. It's just crazy cool. Is that the end? Okay, that's the end. So today I'd like you to do the ID card worksheet. Find the ones that are fish and put them on and color them. Let's see. Pelican's a bird. We don't want him in there. Hummingbird. Bird. Not a fish. Goldfish. Stays. Flounder. Stays. He's a fish. Ostrich is a bird. Turtle. Reptile. Seahorse. Yeah. Stays. Shark is a fish. He stays. And a stingray. Manta ray. Stays. We have our 5 fish. You can find those. Then I'd like you to color the last page of the book we're making about fish. And here are some of the highlights from the file I sent. They can breathe through gills. There it is. There's a bone. There's his bones. So he's in the vertebrates. Here's swimming back and forth, flexing their muscles and pushing with their tails. Look at this guy. And got scales. So go ahead and color that page. Then I want you to take it and put it with all the other pages. I'm going to send your family in a file the cover page. So you'll have this for the cover. And then we did mammals and birds and reptiles and amphibians, and today fish. And you'll have a nice keepsake book of our animal unit. I hope you enjoyed it. I always have fun with the animal unit. Okay, and then I was going through our Ranger Ricks to find out some cool facts about fish. Check out this shark. How many teeth do sharks have? A great white shark has about 50 teeth ready for action. When one tooth falls out, another takes its place. Here's some shark bites, little facts. Sharks are born with a complete set of teeth. Oh, not like us, where we lose our baby teeth and then get adult teeth. Or we're born with no teeth at first. Sharks grow teeth throughout their lives. Some sharks can have as many as 30,000 teeth in their lifetime. Sharks don't get cavities. Most sharks lose at least one tooth a week. Wow. Now this funny fish says, what's that? This funny little fish is called a blenny. The blenny is guarding his mate's eggs. He's keeping them safe until they hatch. So here we have a daddy fish guarding the eggs. So the daddy, in a lot of cases, there are, a surprising number of daddy fish that take care of their babies in some way. Either guard the eggs or hatch them from their belly or their mouth, let them ride on their backs. It's pretty cool. All right, this is called Animal Tricksters. Many people played tricks on April's Fool's Day, but these animals played tricks all year long. It says here, come and get it. A frogfish has a built-in fishing pole on its head. The end of the pole is a worm-like piece of bait. When a fish comes to nibble, the frogfish opens wide and grabs its catch. So, fish often eat other fish. It's pretty crazy down there in the waters. All right, and then I wanted you to do this fun activity. What you're gonna need is a pan of water. You can see I've filled it, halfway up with water. And then I cut out a fish shape, a couple inches long. And you can pick a material like a foam or a styrofoam, maybe cut out from an egg carton, a styrofoam egg carton, or maybe something that's like covered in like a wax or plastic so that it doesn't get ruined too fast with the water. What did I use? I cut up this old little baskety thing that was just floating around my house. You can see I cut the fish shape out. And I'm going to put my fish down. Oh, you want to just make sure you've got some sort of a V or cut in back here to make his tail fin. And so it says that if I put my fish in the water, the activity I read, we can make him zoom. And I've got my soap. You might want to put this into like a medicine dropper or something that can make a little drop. So let's see if I can make my fish zoom. I put a drop of soap right there. He went sideways instead of forward. Now the activity says that if you want to do it again, you have to get a new batch of water because the soap, once it's in there, it does something. It is called a quality of water that is called surface tension. And Mr. Kolf was telling me it's kind of like a trampoline. So there's a tension across the top of the water, and the water droplets all wanting to stay together. And I sent your family a link, and yeah, I can just read a little bit of it to you. It says it's an effect where the surface of a liquid is strong. Do you think the surface of this water is strong? You never really think of it like that, but It's actually true. It can hold up a weight. So it's holding up, right now, our fish shape. And the surface of a water droplet holds the droplet together in the shape of a ball. Huh. Why does it stay in the shape of the ball? It's got that tension. Some small things can float on a surface because of surface tension, even though they normally could not float. Like some insects. There's an insect called a water strider, and he puts his little sticky feet, little stretchy feet across, and he can run around on the top of the water. It's so cool to watch. And this is caused by the molecules in the liquid being attracted to each other. So they want to stay together, called cohesion. And that's kind of the basic idea. So when you put a soap into the water, it makes that tension weak. And it's not strong, like it's trampoline quality anymore for these things. And the water drops, molecules run away from each other. And it makes a tear in the tension. And that's what pushes this little fish forward. The soap is making that rip in the tension, and the water molecules fleeing out and pushing the fishy forward. So let me get a new, I'm going to get a new batch of water and see if I can try that. Rinse the soap off of this. See if I can get that to go. Zoomy. When I did yesterday, the fish went zooming. Maybe you can get your fish zooming. No, I think I may have like. You know what? I think I'm just gonna get another dish. Yeah. I'll just get a whole nother dish. Fill this up with fill. It's hard. I remember reading in the experiment. I'll send your family the link to the experiment, so you can see the step-by-step directions where I read them. Okay. Now the trick is to get the soap right on the end. What did I do before I got it? Sideways. That didn't work so good. All right, come on. Go right on the end, please. Whee! There he goes. The one I did yesterday, he really like zoomed across. So see if you can get your fishy to zoom, and maybe you want to have some races with your family. Each of you have a fish, or several of you, and put your drops in at the same time and see what happens. All right, enjoy. Bye.